We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
Yo, fuck nuts! It's probing time.
Greetings, strange humans, and I'm only just realizing that I would definitely not get monetized with all these curse words right off the bat. So, introduce yourself.
I mean, hello,
long
I'm
time,
Callum.
yeah, long time
We've known
viewers
each other
recognize.
for a while. I think we met on Star Wars Facebook groups and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do my own YouTube channel, Callum's Cantina, and Twitch. I go live on Callum's Cantina, as well as I'm working on some other things, but that'll come later.
Yes, indeed. And this is season 3, episode 2 of the CjH Entertainment Podcast, because originally it was called the CjH Podcast, but I realized someone else took that name, so here we are.
Yeah, I was thinking with HK5047, why am I making up numbers? Morning brain. It almost looks like it says the Oddcast on
It's afternoon here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's still morning.
Yeah. All right.
Because time zones.
Yeah. So the first question I have is, how did you start on YouTube?
I started in October 2018, if I remember correctly. And what I really saw was that at the time, I'd been reading more of the Expanded Universe. Star Wars Expanded Universe for people that don't know, and which is now called Legends. And finding that there weren't many YouTubers that were doing that sort of stuff. There was mainly one standout one, which is Matt Wilkins, that sort of inspired me in a way. And I started doing book reviews and stuff. And then that sort of snowballed into, well, I want to play games and then I'll share games, because I sort of always had I liked watching people play games on YouTube and I enjoyed that sort of stuff. And I thought, well, I can do that for other people and it will be Expanded Universe focused and all that sort of stuff. And then it sort of evolved into still mainly Star Wars Expanded Universe. We're going to be branching into other stuff because I've got a couple of random other videos that I've done just for fun and entertainment and all of that good stuff. Yeah. But I know, that's the basic story.
Yeah, I know originally you were just called Callum Johns, but what inspired the name change to Callum's Cantina?
Well, I thought of it basically. I have trouble settling on a good name for my own stuff, and I thought, well, it sounds better. And I don't need my whole full name plastered on the channel. Yeah. Even though if you look back, you'll be able to find it. Yeah, I don't need it.
Kind of like how the CjH is just my initials. Yeah. I guess the other question would be, what inspired you to venture into content creation?
I think it was filling a void. I guess that's another part of the story, is that I hadn't really had any friends in real life to talk about Star Wars Expanded Universe and that big passion that I had. And so it was a really big outlet for talking about things that I couldn't really talk to with people in real life, at least in any depth. And that still happens a bit. Like, I'll talk to someone and they'll go, "Oh, have you seen this new Star Wars thing?" And I'm like, "No, I much prefer the expanded universe." And then they just
Yeah.
stop the conversation because they don't know anything about it.
It's like that's it. We're not talking Disney Star Wars whatsoever.
Yeah. It's a thing of like they go, "Oh yeah, have you watched it?" And then that's what they know, rather than
Yeah.
going, "Oh, what is the expanded universe?" And then we could start a conversation that way.
Yeah. Well, I guess the next question is, how would you describe the main theme of your channel? Because I've noticed that you've also did gaming streams as well. So
Yeah, so I multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube. And so the main theme of my channel is being Cell's Expanded Universe, but that's where now I've decided that I'm going to focus mainly on gaming. And then I'm going to be bringing some of my other game streams in and hopefully doing a few little edits of things and key moments and streams and that'd be really good to share with people. Because not everyone's going to sit down for a 4 to 6 hour stream.
yeah, I do game streams myself, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no one really watches a full hour thing. If you take shorts of it, and then people watch, I guess. Even if
Yeah, it
it's
draws
like video
people in
clips,
because it's like usually at the start of a stream you got nothing really going on because you're
Yeah.
waiting for people to join and you're giving people time to be there.
Yeah. But if you
And
clip
so it's
like funny moments, then people will be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll check this guy out."
And yeah, because I got to the point where I was affiliate on Twitch and I signed the agreement, they have exclusive rights. So when I stream to the platform for a day or two, I went, okay, well, I'm only gonna export the stuff that I want to afterwards because then I can make a little bit of money off it at least.
Yeah. I know Twitch
helps.
has a little bit of issue when you're like dual stream.
And it's just because they want to make sure they get exclusive rights to streamers so more people go to Twitch.
Yeah. They want all the money. Well, do you talk about anything else other than the expanded universe, or is there any other topics like that you enjoy on your channel?
Well, I think most of them come up on streams because that's the time when someone comments something and then I'll be talking about a random comic or something I had in my mind at the time. Random comic, random comment.
Oh no, the
and
comments.
that sort of stuff. So I enjoy gaming in general.
Yeah.
And so gaming related topics end up cropping up. And that's where some of the times it's like, okay, nothing much is happening on the Salesio Republic stream. I'm going to talk about this time.
Yeah. Someone might mention
playing.
like GTA 6 or something, and we'll be like, oh, GTA 6.
Yeah. Yeah, or did you see the trailer for that? Or did you see this ludicrous display?
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. And so some random topics come up. Sometimes it's like when the Baldur's Gate 3, all the reactions to that were going on, I'd hear some stuff randomly and be like, yeah, I really want to play that. So that's something that'll be coming up on the channel because I'll probably start streaming that next year. And that's when I'm going to start making sure to constantly put up the video game streams on my YouTube, not just
I myself
I
did Starfield, and I got quite a bit of views from that, but like I got bored of it, so I was like,
yeah, from what I've seen, it's not one that I'm interested in as much because I've enjoyed, like, I actually recently reinstalled Fallout because I was thinking one of the original ones, I had some old trailer that I made for a gaming channel when I was like, yeah, once GTA 5 releases, I'll start doing YouTube stuff. Being in teenage years, and then that didn't end up happening until now. I've got YouTube stuff more. And I'm like, it'd be really fun to do that on stream and revisit it, especially with the Fallout TV series going. So yeah.
Now, with your interest in Star Wars, would you be interested in the open world Star Wars game that they're doing? Or are you
Not
like,
if it's
off limit if
not
it's
if it's set in the
canon?
new canon.
Okay. So even
Because I've been through the journey. I've tried to experience the new canon. I tried to let it go, okay, hook me in with something, and some things were alright, but
Yeah.
then the majority of it I found that I wasn't really enjoying as
Yeah.
short version.
I do find the
And
video
so-
games a little bit different, like almost like I don't know. It's like playing the older video games, and you're like, this is cool. This might not be canon to Legends. This might be canon to new canon. This stuff like that, where it's like, it's just fun to play Star Wars, you know?
Yeah, and when it's a good game, it's fun to play anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool how with the Dark Forces remaster that Night Dive are doing, that the original LucasArts had worked out a way of doing multi-threading on dots.
Yeah.
And so I was like, LucasArts were usually either pushing some sort of part of the technology or pushing some part of how they made the game, and it really helped make the games feel unique as well.
Yeah. Like, for example, I don't know if they're going forward with the Old Republic remake, but say it is both
I
canon
doubt it
or
by now.
Legends. If it were
Yeah.
to come out, if it's both canon and Legends, because it would be the same story that, Legends
But it wouldn't
would have.
work.
Yeah,
Because
like
you've got
Clone
fundamental
Wars. Yeah,
differences. One,
yeah,
like, for example, one of the biggest things that really interests me when I'm playing KOTOR, and I actually have a KOTOR series coming out now
Yeah.
of me playing through it, is that you can go into caves and find your lightsaber crystals and keep swapping them out and all that sort of
yeah.
stuff.
And
What
in
they
canon,
introduced
it's
in the new
bleeding.
canon,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you have to have the one that chooses the wizard, Harry Potter, as a specific crystal for your lightsaber.
Ooh, it's a lightsaber.
And so some little lore things like that are like, at a fundamental level, they're different universes, and so they should be treated separately, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay,
But
the
I
next
stopped
question.
watching new canon. I stopped doing that after the episode 9 movie. Because I'm like, well, I've sort of wanted closure on that trilogy, and now I'm done. And now I don't even keep in the loop of a lot of things. I only hear stuff from other people a little bit.
The next question is, how do you brainstorm and plan video ideas?
I find it a lot easier with games. Like, I'll be able to go, okay, I've got the sales games I want to play, I can play them, and that's good to play and commentate over. But for other things, it depends on the topic. So if it's something like, okay, I want to talk about this upcoming Dark Forces remaster, I'll be like, cool, here's the trailer, and then usually I can spit off the top of my head some things that I want to talk about it with. Otherwise, I've got a few other ideas where I need to do some research for, and then for example, there was an article at one point that was lightsabers of the universe or something like that. And that's like the one lore video I've done where I will dot point each of the main things in it, but not fully script it, because I find that fully scripting it, I'll be too focused on reading it and not try and talk naturally about it.
Yeah.
And so that's the way I tend to do it when I have more research heavy topics, is I'll dot point things. And like, especially when I was doing my book reviews, and then I was like, this is just making me procrastinate about reading, taking notes every time. I dot point things throughout the book and that I want to talk about.
Yeah. Have you planned on going into other franchises, like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter?
Yeah. I don't think I plan to specifically go into other franchises.
Like,
but it's
you know
like
how
what
Lord of the Rings
what
has
happens
its own
happens.
lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed Lord of the Rings. I think I read this in high school. And the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
It's been way too long though. But that's one thing is like I'm into a couple of different franchises now and different storylines that some of it's been expressed on my YouTube, but other things haven't. And in that way, I think it's just what I'm enjoying at the time. It's like I was saying, it's like I want to get back into the Fallout games because I haven't played them in ages. And with the TV show coming up and that, it's like, cool. I think I might revisit it and see if I can get past how I'm not quite as keen on the isometric version of Fallout 1 and 2 and see if I can delve into that a bit as well.
Now, you'll be
And,
curious
of course,
whether or not in the Fallout show, whether or not it's accurate, where you get stuck in a save point where you just constantly die.
Or the loading screen just freezes.
Yeah.
All the props in that look good so far, so I'm interested to see what they do, and I hope that there
It's
are
also
more
a Bethesda game, so hopefully some random character is just glitching out of the game.
It's like the memes
The
about, the Witcher's TV series isn't accurate, and they show the horse floating in the air. Well, one of the big things about why I'm so into Star Wars Expanding Universe is that it's got a really good continuity, at least internally, generally speaking. But they develop that over time, so there's some things that you allow for with they're figuring out how to do it.
Yeah.
And so if I really delve into another franchise deeper, I try and look for the same sort of cohesiveness to it.
I think Star Trek might have the same weird continuity, I guess.
I think I've heard that the books are not canon to the TV show.
They're not?
As far as I've heard.
Yeah, it's a very confusing. I'm not a Star Trek guy, so I wouldn't really know.
Because I think it's that one quote that they try and use with George Lucas where they say that, I wanted to approach it like Star Trek, where the other things aren't canon to the movies, or something like that. Well, I'd have to look up the exact quote. Yeah, but that's where it first went. Oh, that's where there's a separation. I mean, I've never gotten into Star Trek, so
I have a theory that George Lucas, he cared about the expanding universe up until he started in the Clone Wars.
It's
because
really
wasn't
hard
that when? Because when did Force Unleashed come out? Plagueis.
Plagueis was 2013. 2008 was also Force Unleashed. I mean, I know that Force Unleashed was being developed concurrently with pre-production and production for the Clone Wars 2008.
Because I know both Plagueis and Force Unleashed, he had very much involvement in those. So I'm wondering at a certain point where he got distracted by the Clone Wars and his main focus was on the Clone Wars and not on Expanding Universe, and that's where Expanding Universe kind of floated into.
Well, I'm not sure, because the main issues when you hit that period of time that the Expanding Universe has, I should say, is that they tried to incorporate the information from the Clone Wars when all of the people working at Lucasfilm knew that it wouldn't work very well.
Yeah. Kind of like
and so the authors were taking that holistic approach to Star Wars where everything counted that was coming out. And so they were like, okay, well, I'll put this new information in without the promised retcons that Leland Chi was supposedly going to do after the show finished, but then it got cancelled and then it never happened.
Yeah. Kind of like how they kind of did a backstory on Boba Fett in the expanded universe, and then George Lucas was like, no, he's a clone.
Yeah, I I mean, that's some of the things that happens because George Lucas specifically banned writing stuff in the prequel era because he knew when he
Yeah.
was going to make movies that it would be in that time period.
Yeah, but I guess our
And
authors
while
wanted to do it.
George didn't get into the real deep details of this novel type thing, he still had checklists that he approved or disapproved of certain plot elements and force powers and that sort of stuff. Because it's like, yeah, you've got a life. You're not going to be scouring every single piece of media that's being done by a company.
Now, do you think some of the authors like snuck in some prequel stuff, and that's why there's a little bit of a disconnect?
Yes, but I
towards
think that
prequels?
worked well for the time because they would have based it off what notes George Lucas had, and then he changed how it was going to look when he made the
Yeah.
prequels. And that's like a creative process thing that you go, yeah, he could have done story treatments for the sequel trilogy, but they could have been nothing like the final product.
Yeah, it's like Owen Lars is Obi-Wan's brother or something, and where Padme survived. And,
Yeah.
like,
Well, and big one's the dating, isn't it? It's like they're saying it's 30 years before A New Hope that the Clone Wars was.
yeah, and then
Something
what
like
was Splinter Minds?
Splinter of the Mind's Eye, yeah. That was
Yeah,
cool
so-
because it was written. If Star Wars didn't do well, that was written as the next movie that he was going to do because it was cheap to shoot, basically.
Yeah, but it was kind of creepy considering they didn't have what we would eventually know as Luke and Leia are brother and sister.
You get that in all of the media. It's like George definitely decided on that later.
Yeah, that was definitely
because you hit a point in the old Marvel comics where, yeah, they kissed a couple of times in the old Marvel comics too. Luke came in and saved the day and saved the damsel in distress, like good old.
I feel like both
comics.
in canon and Legends, the comics kind of go all over the place. It's like they don't follow the timeline. So like I found in canon they did the whole after A New Hope. They just like threw in so many things that the trio did. I'm like, there's no way this happened between A New Hope and Empire.
And that's where the old Marvel comics are sort of canon, but not in the way that they have the canon tier system, because that's just indicators of where things are from.
Yeah.
Of like, the old Marvel comics are older, and so some of the details might not be completely accurate. And then Dark Horse started bringing out comics and it's more accurate. So, yeah, but there's some eras that are just completely packed full of stuff, like you're saying.
And now Dark Horse has its own line of canon comics, so it's all confusing.
I really thought that they could be like, Marvel can do the new canon comics, and then Dark Horse can do the expanded universe comics, and we'll continue both. But apparently, they still don't like the expanded universe.
Yeah. Do you think now? Do you think now that time has passed, like, do you think also YouTubers have kind of tainted the expanded universe fandom as well, like the whole movement that's going on right now?
It's hard to say for specifically YouTubers. I think they're an expression of how the fandom's looked as a whole, and that's a whole can of worms.
Yeah,
because it's like there's all the people that they're probably the vocal minority. All the people I've talked to in real life just are fine and just go, all right.
Yeah.
That's how Star Wars is.
Yeah.
But with what I've seen online have been a lot of people being vocal about it, in that either they're trying to hate on the EU or it's EU fans trying to hate on new canon, and then it just creates a circle. And I think in a way, YouTubers haven't helped in when there's misinformation and they spread misinformation in a way that they haven't researched it properly.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot of people believing that, oh yeah, what this YouTuber says is right, when it's actually not.
Yeah.
It's, for example, like Wikipedia. If you go read Wikipedia article on a certain character and then you read the actual source material, you go, hang on, some of the things aren't accurate on Wikipedia either.
Yeah. And sometimes people manipulate Wikipedia to get back at the expanded universe fans as well. So it's
Yeah. And like, I mean, it's a thing inside the expanded universe fandom, like Facebook groups and stuff too. You get certain people that go, "Oh, I only consider the Bantam era canon, which is the earlier era of the novels and that, and before
now my biggest pet
other
peeve
stuff."
right
And so,
now is people saying that, oh, they should canonize this, this, and this. I mean, I
I've always been
understand.
against that.
Like the character that they bring in is not the Legends character. It's its own version of that character. Like, I'm fine.
It's a different character with the same name.
Yeah, exactly. But people want to say that, oh, this is canon now. So this must mean this novel is canon now. So it's
That's the issue I've found. People try and hold on to, because those novels and things are so good.
Yeah.
That they want them to be considered canon because they love them so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I've never liked bringing in the characters. The whole thing was to have creative freedom, right? Was their explanation for rebooting? And then they go and use all of the characters that were already previously created instead of doing their own thing.
And then they realize that they can't make new characters because everyone hates the new characters, so they gotta go back.
Yeah, when they have a new character, no one reads the comic or the novel or whatever.
Yeah. But when someone from Expanding Universe comes in, it's like, oh my god, it's an Expanding Universe character. Yeah.
Oh, I was going, hey, hang on, say Pistache is mentioned in Izard's Revenge. Is he an EU first character? And then I looked and apparently he's named in an early draft of Empire Strikes Back. And then his appearance was retconned into Return of the Jedi.
Although
he appeared first properly in the Rogue Squadron comics, which is really cool.
Now, I would rather them take the character and like take the name of the character and just use that instead of taking a copy of that character and saying this is a brand new character that we created, but it was very clearly inspired by Legends.
Oh, they love saying that everything's the first time they've done something.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the first time there's been a female protagonist in Star Wars, you know?
Yeah. The first Jedi, you know.
Never mind all the expanded universe stories.
Yeah. But, like, for example, some of the characters from Rogue One, they were very clearly inspired by some of the Legend stories.
I mean, I don't mind them being inspired by things as much, because it's like, okay, they changed the names, they changed it up a little bit. Obviously, yes, this is Dark Forces gender swapped. Yeah. But at the same time, they've got so many ideas that have been put into the expanded universe that it's hard not to hit on the same things in some parts. And some of those stories are just so good that you can't help but go, well, we should copy that or be inspired by it.
Like, there's a new novel that's about Mace Windu, and it's very clearly supposed to be their version of Shattered...
Shatterpoint?
Yeah, Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't you just...
Well, that's the whole thing I've gone. If you want to use expanded universe characters, why don't you just write an expanded universe?
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, yeah.
Even if, like, that's the thing. You mentioned something about a movement earlier, and I don't know if I'd specifically classify it as a movement as such. I think that term gets bandied around, especially like as an Aussie, seeing
Yeah.
Americans on the internet bandy that word around on YouTube and stuff. I don't know if I'd specifically call it a movement, but it depends how you define it.
Yeah.
But the Expanded Universe fans have wanted a continuation for the Expanded Universe because we didn't even get loose ends tied up. There was basically no transition. And
Now, do
so
you
I'm
think
like,
sorry. Do you think that the Expanded Universe fandom was hijacked by people that didn't have, what's the word I'm looking for? Good intentions.
it's hard to tell intentions properly without talking to people that were doing it and seeing what they wanted to do with it when they were talking about it.
Yeah.
I think there's a certain element of possibly good intention people, like it goes into the American political sphere a bit
Yeah.
of they treat this fandom and the way that they go about trying to get something the same as they would try and advocate for something politically.
Yeah.
And so in that way, I think in some parts you end up getting people that are quite aggressive, and especially in the case of some things like certain Expanded Universe fans around 2015, 2016, at that point had built up a rapport with Lucasfilm and were working on a way of working together with them. And then people came in and went, "Oh, I hate this and all that." And then it full and jumped on Lucasfilm, then seeing, "Oh, they say they're EU fans," and that reflects on everyone. And so I think
Yeah.
in that way, it's the methodology of how you go about things that, whether it's good intentioned or not, that really causes damage in some areas.
Okay. Do you have any good memories of interactions with many viewers on your channel?
Oh, I've got a couple of actually really good friends now that I talk to on Discord and that a fair bit that I got from streaming on Twitch, especially. One of them saw my Jedi Academy video on Steam because I've been sharing the videos when I do put them up on Steam, and then went through there and found my streams and joined, and that was really good. And then one of the others was especially came in through when I did a guest appearance with Lethal Lightning a while ago now. So
Yeah.
shout out to him. And then we've gotten to be closer because of shared interests and stuff. But when I think about it, I haven't especially had bad experiences with viewers. At least not on the level it seems that maybe bigger YouTubers get, because the more views you get, the more likelihood you get
Yeah.
people posting bad comments and stuff.
I can think of one
Uh,
YouTuber that we all
There's been
had
good
problems
interactions
with,
all around in my experience.
and I'm gonna put his name in the private chat.
Oh yeah,
I think
some
we
of
all
that.
experienced that guy
Yeah, that guy. I've
in
noticed
the
that
expanded universe.
that's one of
fandom.
those things where you get a reaction to the wrong methodology, as I was talking about. Is you get people trying to do stuff on YouTube and stuff just for clout
Yeah,
and trying to ride off the drama. And so I've noticed that they don't have any lasting power because, especially that person you mentioned, isn't
yeah,
anywhere on
he's no
YouTube
longer
anymore.
on YouTube. Yeah,
And that's completely died.
yeah,
Whereas that's where I'm like, you just make stuff about enjoying the content and talking about the expanded universe and do your own thing. And then if people join in along the way, it's really good. But specifically trying to go, I'm going to ally with certain people, so it's too political.
Do you
Just
think
have
now
fun.
that in the direction that Lucasfilm is going and the fandom in general, do you think a lot of expanded universe fans have kind of stopped the fight, almost like they've given up, essentially? Because I don't know, like
Mm.
I find even like Matt Wilkins you mentioned, He does a lot of
Mhm.
board game videos now, and not so much Star Wars.
I think it's been a turning point after so long that people are going, well, obviously we're not going to get more expanding universe. Like, yeah, we get some SWTOR,
Yeah, we
questionable
get that
writing,
one
but yeah.
comic. That
You get
I think
Marvel
that one
108.
comic was
That one comic that was an advertisement because they put the characters in a new canon comic.
yeah.
And then it doesn't
was,
make sense because there's continuity issues. They were saying it's a continuation of the original Marvel
That was
run.
their breadcrumbs for the Legends fandom.
They've tried to do that sort of thing. It's like going, oh yeah, we've canonized this character now, but they didn't canonize the stories. In the all right, we're going to have something expanding the universe with this in, but now you can say, oh look, here's new canon stuff with the same characters. But also when they do it like that and they're focusing on that, I found the Marvel 108 was not quite as good, and I think my video came a lot later because I got delayed in actually receiving the comic anyway. But the way that like Valence was supposed to have melted in a pool of acid that melts metal in hours and melts flesh in a few minutes. And then his skeleton's also fully metal rather than him being a cyborg where he was half metal. That some of that stuff irks me.
Maybe they took too much inspiration from Terminator.
Yeah, he did look like a Terminator. And some of that stuff was like, yeah, they did it for the anniversary because Marvel would have gone bankrupt if they didn't do the Star Wars comics, and they're popular in that. But it just feels like when they do a proper expanding universe comic or something, it just is an advertisement to try and get you into the new stuff.
Yeah, we got people in the comments, Dundo and Lil Movie Perp. Me and Lil Movie Perp have a show on Saturdays called The After Show. We might be delayed next week depending on if Perp isn't there. But the next question would be, what are notable challenges you face as a content creator?
I still suffer from it. It's keeping a consistent schedule.
Yeah.
An upload schedule that's consistent. And like I'd started reading short stories on stream, which I still really want to do, but it's been ages since I did the last one. To be able to just sit down and do like a weekly thing where I sit down and read a short story and then chat a little bit if there's anything people chat about. Otherwise, I'll just read the short story.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to get that sorted a little bit more. And I think that's just the general nature of some of the things of like some of the KOTOR videos, because it's in a 4:3 ratio, like older video games, and I want to edit them to a bit higher degree. I ended up deciding I want to take a little bit longer rather than just, I have to do a really basic edit to get it out. And that sort of stuff is like trying to match the upload schedule and consistency with being able to do a quality type videos.
Do you have any miles?
Streaming is easier. Streaming is easier because I can jump on and just play the game or whatever, and then most of the time it's good. Yeah. Other than when I'm in a place with bad internet. But yeah.
Do you have any milestones for like your channel and such?
That's a good question.
Whoa.
I think a milestone I want to do is I want to play every single expanded universe Star Wars game on the channel. And do them as pre-records as like as best I can. Some of them I have to use emulators, some of them other things. So that I have playthroughs like some other channels I've seen that you can go back and watch them and they're last for however long on the internet, and it was really good that way.
I wanted to make a joke where it's like not just the women but the children too.
Not just the PC but the Xbox and the PlayStation too. The PC. Even though it'll probably all be recorded on PC because it's a lot easier. Then
Yeah.
again, actually, I have to do that a bit with the Force Unleashed because there's a different version on the PS2 and the Switch compared to the Xbox and PC versions.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. And
Do you have any
I'm thinking I'll do
Oh.
comparisons in that. And as far as other milestones, well, I'm thinking because
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
is that
Question.
be really. I think it'd be really good to like build up this feeling of a small community where the chat's not going so much on streams and
Yeah.
whatever that I can't keep up, but to have like a core group of really good, consistent people that watch the videos and enjoy them, and we just have a really good time in our community and doing things.
I think
And I don't know how to do KPIs for that, but I think that's just something to build when it happens, and that naturally grows.
I think that's every YouTuber's dream, kind of to have a consistent community, because at the end of the day, subscriber numbers are just numbers. It's the interaction that keeps channels alive.
It keeps it interesting because it helps motivate me more towards doing more for videos.
Yeah. Because if you got no one watching, it's like, what do I talk about? I know that's for me.
It's good because it's like, if you go back to my really early videos, I might even replay some games on YouTube and whatever much later on once I've gone through all of them as best I can. It's like, I practiced and I just put it out there, and I got better at commentating over games as I went because they're not all streams. And that's why I do the pre-recorded ones, is because then it can be focused on the game. And I find that it's a different experience when you watch the pre-record to the streams. Like, stream stuff is really good for interaction at the time, but then you get a different sort of interaction watching the pre-recorded videos that are edited and all that, and you can do some fun gags and things with it.
Yeah.
And cut it all the time you run around and sort out your inventory and stuff.
Especially with games like Minecraft and stuff, it's like, or Subnautica. All you're doing is like crafting and finding objects. It's like
it's really good on streams to have ones like that because you have space in between that you can talk to the chat and all that.
Yeah.
But it's just a different experience, and if there's new topics that come up on stream, it can become a little bit dated for the time period. Whereas if you talk commentating over a game at the time, maybe some stuff will be like, oh, look, I took a while to get this next part out or whatever, might be dated, but the actual commentary of the rest of it is relevant to the game and still accurate if you watch it like 5-10 years from now. For
any
people
dream collaborators and any content you want to create together, like any other YouTubers you want to talk to and stuff like that and do content with?
Well, if we're talking about dreams and goals, I think that I've been finding Markiplier interesting in what he's doing with Iron Lung movie and that sort of stuff. And as someone that's very into movies and TV shows myself, and I guess I'll mention something in a minute too.
Actually,
but
yes. Let's go into that after you mention that. Yeah.
Is that he's a content creator that's been doing stuff for years, and now he's moving on to doing bigger and better things. And like I've been listening to the Distractable podcast a bit that he does and stuff. And when he talks about the tech, like that's the stuff I'm into and that sort of stuff. And so I think it'll be really cool not to collaborate on YouTube, but to collaborate on a movie or something in the future would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to end up doing is, while I'll still do YouTube and it is still viewed as a hobby more, but who knows if it ends up growing huge or not.
Is it true you have a spin-off channel that you do like film related content? Like,
I do have a spin-off channel that I've put a couple of my short films on at the moment, and some of that's been a creative process of I've got too many ideas that I've got part scripts for. And so I haven't done anything in ages, but I've got a couple of short films on there in my show reel. Because spin-off channel that I've got is actually the same business name that I trade under and have my Australian business number, ABN, and registered trading name that I trade under when I do my freelance work. And so that'll be all my bit more professional level film work and that sort of stuff that'll be on my own channel rather than it being somewhere else. And so that's actually my work that I normally do during the year, and that is freelance video production. Yeah. And I recently went to a red carpet premiere of a short half an hour film that I had helped out with, which was really cool.
How do you adapt to trends and YouTube algorithm changes?
I don't.
I just simple.
Yeah, I really just do my own thing, and then if people are interested enough in it, then I would say that they're going along with the rides. But a little bit on streaming, I try to play some newer games that are talked about a bit, even if it's a little bit later than other people catch on to the trends and stuff. I try to play some newer games and things that people are into. Some I've found a niche for, like I recently finished all of the story content for Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen, which is a really good game. And I started playing that because the second trailer came out. The trailer for the second game came out. And so stuff like that is like, I really enjoyed the game. Plus, it brought in some new people that were playing and helping me out with giving me pawns, which are basically your NPC companions for the game and that sort of stuff.
Have you gone around to playing Spider-Man 2? Because I think I remember you playing the first Spider-Man game.
I played Spider-Man and I played Miles Morales, but I don't have a PS5. So when it comes to PC, I'll probably end up playing it. Yeah, but at the moment, I haven't got a PS5 because the thing that'll be the real selling point for me is if they do backwards compatibility for all PlayStation consoles, and otherwise I have my PlayStation 1 to 4 hooked up over in my lounge area.
I think they have some games that are backwards compatible, like one that comes to my mind because I grew up playing it was Toy Story 2: Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, and they have that on there. So that's
some things where most PlayStation 4 games will work on the PS5, and they have some games on the PlayStation Store that you'd have to buy again to play, and they're digital downloads.
That's the problem.
Which is compared to being
owning it.
Yeah, that's a different topic too, because it's like on the thing, it's like I can't just get the game I already bought and put the disc in and play it. That's my main thing with it.
And then PlayStation can take it at any point, right? That's like if they lose the license for it, they're like, well, this is not yours anymore. Yeah.
If it's installed and then you just don't connect it to the internet, they can't do that.
If you don't get caught.
If you don't connect to the internet. But that's the thing with the entertainment industry, and I'd say that's probably where my channel theming will end up going, is the entertainment industry in general. But where there's the streaming services and getting digital purchases for things later on, that you don't really own things. And they can change it. It's like good example was all the memes about the Starbucks coffee cup in Game of Thrones, and then later on they edited it out and uploaded the new version of the episode. That's a minor one.
Same with Mandalorian, where there was a guy with jeans, and they redid it. They basically did the George Lucas special edition thing. That's like. And then, I don't know what you're talking about. There was never... there was never a cup there.
Yeah. But it gets even more annoying is like Disney has stopped selling physical discs
Yeah.
in Australia at least, and in some other countries. I'm not sure
Well,
if
I
you're being
know
affected
some
over
of the
there.
stores have stopped doing that as well.
Yeah. After Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the last disc that they sold.
Yeah. Although, to
And
be
so
fair,
I ended up
most
getting some of the older classical stuff, so I make sure I have it on physical.
yeah. To be fair, I think most people buy this stuff on Amazon, so that's as long as they're still going to Amazon. That
Yeah, I'm
should
not
be
sure, because if they're stopping selling them in shops, then they'd also be stopping selling them on Amazon, and then I'd get like a international shipping fee from the US, probably.
yeah, that's true.
Which, that's the thing when building a collection too, with
Yeah,
books and things, is that a book can be $5, but then you pay $75 shipping.
yeah. I know that as a Canadian too. It's like
Yeah, and it's crazy, and that's where you got to try and find the best balance between the price and the shipping. A lot of the cheaper ones are from the UK here, out of interest.
where do you see this channel heading in the future, like for your content and stuff?
Well, the hopes and goals is that it becomes like a good gaming community, and I think that the way I come across and that sort of thing will build a positive community about things. Like I've been inspired on the gaming side by people like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and that sort of stuff, in the way of building a positive community that can then do stuff. And if you ever do get big enough to be able to do stuff for charities and stuff, that'd be awesome. But as it is, I think that if I really make a good effort at it, I'd really love it to be another source of income as well, on top of being a really enjoyable thing that I do, because some of the work freelance video stuff is a bit up and down and not consistent. And so if I could have a source of income that could help fund more things towards the channel and being able to afford and other things and do bigger projects of like films and stuff that I like to do, that'd be really awesome. But I know I don't understand the algorithm, so that'll be hard work.
I don't think anyone does. But
And I was
yeah.
listening to some like Markiplier did a series of Power Wash podcast type things with discussions with some other creators. And especially I think it was the talk with Matt Pat where they were talking about you basically need a whole team to be able to provide content daily for the algorithm to like, as well as provide quality videos. And so that's a difficult thing with YouTube in the current climate, at least hearing it from them, is that to be able to keep up with how much the algorithm likes daily uploads and that sort of stuff is pretty crazy.
Have you ever looked at older videos and just maybe cringe? I know I look at some of my older videos and I'm like,
Yeah, I haven't done that a lot because I know I cringe.
But like for example, like our first when you were first on on this channel, I had to redo my audio completely.
Well, I had a 720p webcam, and then I used the mic that was inbuilt into that webcam first.
Yeah.
Which it makes such a difference to have an actual good separate microphone.
Yeah, but in a way, like I had to do ADR voiceover for my own interview.
Wow, that's it. But that's a learning experience too, isn't it? Because you want to fix things so that they don't happen again. It's even like I set up this space so that I could have good lighting. Like I have a lamp in the corner in front of me. So I have my fill light, my key light, and my backlight as the LEDs for separation from the background. And so being able to apply things I learnt doing film and TV as well helped a lot.
Yeah.
Because back in my place, like, the lighting changes a lot.
You know, messy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
and
using the green screen.
the lighting on the camera doesn't matter as much because you see people that are got views on streams and stuff that don't have the best lighting, and it's like, but it's just a nice thing for me to go, oh,
I have
It looks so much
lighting
better.
here, but it just messes with the green screen and whatnot. Because I think I've had the light on too long, so it's like, yeah.
And then that's a hard light, so it's not diffused, so it ends up causing more glare on your face.
Yeah.
Whereas I got a lamp from Kmart that has some diffusion around it already, so a softer light.
Yeah.
Hey, technical things. It's also like going back to say, oh, look how much I've improved in my actual commentary and the way that I've practiced and gotten better at talking about things is really good.
Well, I find that YouTube has definitely helped me with my anxiety and being able to talk to other people and just communicate. Good.
Yeah, during lockdowns, it was such a good avenue of filling in that social aspect.
Yeah.
When doing live streams and stuff.
The dark times, before the dark times. Any future movies and games and pop culture items that you're excited for?
Let's see. I'm having a moment now because I blanked completely.
Well, I know they showed all those game trailers.
Well, like I mentioned, I'm looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2 now.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool. A lot of video games I'm a bit apprehensive on, so I don't jump into saying I'm really hyped for them straight away. I usually just wait and see what they're like before buying it because it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, usually games on launch don't. Usually games on launch are always glitchy. Like, although I've been seeing that.
Yeah.
I
played Outer Worlds by Obsidian. Oh, we're both trying to talk at the same time.
Damn it.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right. It's like I played Outer Worlds by Obsidian, and then I was actually like, "Oh, cool! Bethesda are doing their space game." And then Starfield came out, and then I looked at it and went, "Yeah, that's not really what I want to play. That doesn't look that good."
Loading screen game.
That sort of stuff. It's like. And then a lot of games, I think a lot of the entertainment industry is tricky. Like, I guess I'll say I'm looking forward to the Iron Lung movie that Markiplier is doing because I'm interested to see how well he does with it and what he does with it. But a lot of the things I'd say, I go, if the trailer looks alright, then I'll check it out. It's like the Fallout TV series, because I mentioned that earlier. Is something that I'm like, I'll check it out. But I don't know if I'd say I'm particularly hyped or excited about it, but I go, it looks alright from the trailer. I'm going to watch the first episode or two.
I think everyone's excited for GTA 6 at this point. Like the most viewed trailer.
Yeah, because everyone likes GTA. It's just hard to know before the game's actual release.
Yeah.
And I pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077.
That Jurassic Park. Actually, the people have been saying Cyberpunk has had a.
The latest updates have been really good.
Yeah,
they've done a lot with it. But on launch, I didn't have as many of the glitches and bugginess as on consoles because I got it on PC. But it's still.
Yeah, launch was atrocious, but it's having the same like redemption arc as No Man's Sky.
I've heard about that. I haven't played No Man's Sky myself yet.
Yeah. I mean, they just announced kind of the sequel. I want to say it's a sequel. My headcanon is that it's a sequel.
And as far as games go,
and
I guess if you have a live service game that's updating over time, I'm excited for future Genshin Impact. I'm excited for actually Genshin Impact story to be added in the next updates and that sort of stuff.
Fortnite is probably like the top.
What are you into Lego Fortnite?
I played a little bit of it and I was like, it's just Minecraft.
I played Fortnite a tiny bit because a job didn't provide me footage.
What I wanted was a Fortnite, but with Lego skins and real guns from the Fortnite.
But then they
That's
would
what I
just put
wanted.
skins in the actual Fortnite to make people look like Lego.
And they didn't do Doomslayer either as a Lego figure. I'm disappointed in that. And
I
like
don't know the
the two
details.
characters that they do have, like Darth Vader and Indiana Jones, they didn't do that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you already have Lego models for them. What are you doing? I mean, I guess that's licensing issues there.
Yeah, that's probably. But it makes no sense. They have
Mm.
Anakin, but they don't have Darth Vader.
That's just pre-suit Vader.
Next, they have like Mustafar Anakin that's like half burnt, just walking around.
Yeah, I think I'd be excited if there was a Alita Battle Angel sequel, but who knows if that's going to happen because James Cameron's on his Avatar hype train.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think Avatar is, after seeing how well the second game, I say second game, but there is a new game out. The second movie did so well. I think that's a new thing. Because I think
Mm.
people are looking for I think the superhero genre has kind of flatlined. And I
It's
think
become
people
very
are looking,
saturated and samey.
yeah. And I think a lot of people are looking for the new thing. And I think Avatar is what that is.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second movie.
It's a long movie.
What have I got here? I'm interested in Dune Part 2. That looks like it'll be really good. I really liked the cinematography, apart from the scenes that are so dark you can hardly see anything, really
Yeah.
good in the first one. And I read the book afterwards, and I'm interested to see how they adapt it.
They have that new Mad Max prequel.
Oh, yeah, but that's based on Fury Road, so it's not Mad Max.
Oh, you're one of those.
Well, you watch
Like-
the original Mel Gibson trilogy,
Yeah.
and then you watch Fury Road, and they're very different.
It's like the rebooted Mad Max. Though,
Yeah.
isn't the video game
So I
like,
wasn't as keen
part
on
of the
Fury
reboot?
Road as I was the other ones. I think so. Played the new game. It was fairly good generally.
I
I'm
mentioned that
just like,
because I might be playing that game eventually on this channel.
eventually, I have a whole list of games to play on stream, and then some I want to revisit, and then some I want to revisit.
Yeah, I finished playing Red Dead 2 on the channel. I
Nice.
played it before, but I was like, this is the first time I actually streamed it on the channel. So
Yeah, some things I think if you play games you already played, like a lot of my playing games are first time reactions,
yeah,
at least on streams and that. Like I played KOTOR before, which is my current series on my channel, but I think that you want something to be able to add to it. Like I can add to KOTOR through the playthrough because of going, oh, that's a reference to Tales of the Jedi and that kind of stuff, and seeing
Yeah.
how the lore comes together with it.
when
And
I
being-
played Red Dead 2, I didn't add any commentary, so I probably will eventually go back to that just to do commentary. But
Yeah.
for now,
Or even just go, here's some things I want to say about the game in a separate video.
yeah,
Because sometimes it's like, yeah, that's a long game.
yeah, yeah,
I find that I'd like to do video. So on my channel, when I play video games, I've found
Yeah.
that I've liked having the camera and commentary over it as more enjoyable as a viewing experience compared to just the no commentary ones, personally. So it's
And
like,
then-
that's what I want to put out to people too, is something that's adding to it and a bit more entertaining and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
And then there's some games where it's like you want to stream, but you're like, Cyberpunk being one of them, and it's like,
I think I streamed the start and then it wasn't very popular, and then I streamed the endings. And so
But
people
I'm
miss the
like,
story in
I don't
between.
think YouTube would be very happy with that. Some of the scenes in that. But
Oh, all you gotta do
that
is
would be on
download a mod
Kick
that you
or
just download a
Rumble.
mod. Download a mod that just puts underwear on all the nude people. There you go. There's mods now, so you're good.
That's the streaming.
I say,
that,
yeah, it's a opening mission with Jackie that you end up rescuing Sandra Dorset. That you end up with nudity, like in the first stream, probably.
That Jurassic Park game looks awesome. I think everyone kind of wanted a game like that after Alien Isolation.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a Jurassic Park survival, so it's basically like you know the game Alien Isolation.
Yeah, I've played that on stream.
It's
fun.
kind of like that, but with dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
From
have a
Jurassic
squeeze.
Park, so they got all the sound effects from Jurassic Park.
I've only seen the first Jurassic Park game, by the way. I've only seen the first Jurassic Park movie.
I was gonna say, well, there is a couple of games, but it's...
And then I've been like, how many movies does it have? Why do they keep repeating the same damn mistake all the time?
And then in real life, the scientists are like, maybe we should bring back dinosaurs. There's like, how many movies say no?
They were thinking too much about that they could, that they didn't think about if they should.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I don't particularly do book reviews on my channel anymore because I went away from taking the notes because I procrastinated about reading them because it's like it always felt like a bit of a chore, especially the amount of notes I was taking. And then the new reviews, I watched them back and went, they're not really doing it for me. So if there's book discussions and stuff on my channel, that's something I would collaborate and have some people on doing.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Have you ever conducted audience surveys and polls for feedback?
Not particularly. Because the times that I've put up polls and things, there's like one or two people interacting with it.
Yeah. Or the one or
I've asked some of the
like,
people that I've asked some of the people that I'm closer to and I talk to on Discord about what do you think of this sort of thing. But one of them joins the streams and doesn't watch YouTube. Go figure. And the other one's just enjoying whatever I do. So it's like, okay.
I know your earliest videos were Ewok videos.
Well,
how do you deal with that?
I did a backlog because at the time they weren't viewable anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think one of them got copyright claimed, and then so I was like, delete it because I don't need to deal with that. Because they're on Disney Plus now. But I uploaded them before they were anywhere to watch. Yeah. So
I mean, I might.
I get random comments on those sometimes. I'm like, who's watching Ewoks on here? Who's watching it?
Well, that's
and then there was a random time it popped off because someone was having some debate about poop versus ploob and how does it sound in the episode.
Well, that's the thing. Like, my channel took off because of a Star Wars, Clone Wars, video, and all the people.
When you say Star Wars Clone Wars, when you say Star Wars Clone Wars, that means the micro series. And then Star Wars The Clone Wars is the 2008 3D animated one. See, the actual titles are different. Which actually, one of the videos that I got coming up, or at least I did at one point, is I went through all of the featurettes and noted everything down that was notable to me.
Well,
so I have a document with all of that.
Sorry, I was gonna highlight We got a star in the chat. I don't think that's the real George Lucas.
I mean, yeah, people can make their name whatever, don't they?
But in our
But it's
hearts,
funny when
it
people
is.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
So we are an hour in. Is there anything, any topics that you want to bring up? Like anything?
Trying to think. And then, of course, my mind blanks whenever you actually ask a question. And then before the stream, it's like, oh, yeah, you could talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your intentions with your channel? Since
For
you've
my
asked me
channel,
about that, what's your
I
goals?
kind of throw stuff at the wall and hope it sticks, to be honest. but so far, I think I'm going towards like taking advantage of the fact that I have an alien avatar, and I might. I have alien masks and stuff, so I might, you know, use that to my advantage. I'd be like, that's a brand, right?
Yep.
So alien related
Nice.
stuff.
So all of the sci-fi games and stuff like Mass Effect
Yeah.
and that with aliens in them.
Yeah. But also, I mean, my channel started as a podcast channel, so
Yeah.
this where this
So
comes in.
I've got a few plans for things next year that are like I'm gonna work on see how it goes with a consistent podcasts. And then I've also got a website that I've been working on, which should make that's the one thing I haven't mentioned is my timeline. It should make my timeline more accessible as well as other things. Like I'm going to be updating it and putting Soul short stories that were only ever on hyperspace and that sort of thing, ones that aren't as accessible now on there, which would be really good.
I know for me, my favorite thing to do for YouTube is the thumbnails. So like I'll plan a stream like ahead and then do the thumbnail. I'm like, well, I don't want to do the stream anymore, but I love the thumbnail.
Reuse the thumbnail. Yeah, thumbnails are really fun, especially if you go, I didn't know I made that face. I'll use that.
It's like the thumbnail that was for this stream before, and you sent me the new one. It's like, I love it.
I was like, oh, I better take a photo for that because that other one with the logo there just doesn't look good.
Yeah. I haven't done the Mr. Beast thing yet, where it's like, oh.
Oh, you got to have those really exaggerated facial features. The trouble I have is like, I have to do them to the camera, then also click to take the picture.
Yeah, so you're like, oh. And then you gotta find the button.
Like I've got the mouse on the right spot, but then I still look at it sometimes when I take the photo. It's like, oh wait, hang on, my eyes are in the right spot.
Yeah. Or when you're game streaming and like the camera's over here, but the TV's over here, and it's like you gotta move the camera to make it look like you're looking at the audience.
Yeah. Where did your alien stuff come from?
Well, I through the years I've designed that. So it used to be a sketch at one point, and I've just been messing around with it here and there. Nice. And then this year, after going to college and all that, and learning graphic design and all that, I was finally able to come up with the design that we see now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
See if I can bring it up here so we can all see the glorious. I also have like a gaming version of the logo as well. If I can find it.
Nice. Because I was wondering
Put
about,
Eric
you've got
Cartman
this,
up.
you've got this random alien stuff in your room.
Oh yeah.
Just collected that over the years, I guess.
Delete this one. It doesn't want it. That's weird.
Yeah, the timeline was also a thing that I did for the Sales Expanding Universe that was like, there's no good one that I really like that's out there, and so I'll make my own. But it's only a PDF with a link to Google Drive at the moment, so I was thinking, should do a website, and then I'm gonna expand that into doing some other things, which would be good.
So the best I can do is share my screen, because I guess StreamYard doesn't want to do anything.
It works. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Perfect. I was just like when it was loading.
Yeah. So there's the main logo, and then here's the gaming one.
Aye.
Yeah. And I designed that from scratch.
Yeah, good job. I had graphic designer friend that I had done a podcast with, but then that didn't end up continuing. That ended up designing my original logo, and then I changed it around myself. And as I've learned a few little tricks
That
and
usually
things in
happens with
Photoshop.
podcasts. I guess either what happens is you start a podcast and then you get in trouble for the stuff you talk about.
Well, that was part of it. But then also, it's like we had an Expanded Universe book club we did at one point, and then that seemed to have the issue of like, okay, I get if people have other priorities and things aren't in life, but don't commit yourself to it if you're not willing to put in some extra effort into making it work. Especially if you're like a consistent co-host.
My channel used to be me and my friends just chatting in a car or wherever, but I've decided to like have guests on, and that keeps it fresh, and that way you're not committed to one guest.
Yeah, you have to have the right people if you're gonna have the same people on each time as well.
Yeah, kind of like how I have a show called The After Show with Perp, and we just
so it's actually a show, not an after show.
Yeah, well, that's the whole joke is we don't know what it's after.
After a few beers.
Here's the next episode logo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Coincidentally watching Doctor Who last night.
Oh yeah, lots of people complaining about that show.
It's had some writing issues since mainly Jodie Whittaker. Yeah. Some things are just weird.
Yeah.
I thought the second special was quite good. That felt like it was a good episode and could have fit with the older series. But then the first and the third specials, especially the end of the third special, was just weird and had some issues.
We finally got 2 whole viewers.
Wow, 2 whole viewers.
I know. I'm big time now.
Yeah.
But ironically, as the 2 viewers appear, we are an hour in, so I think it would be time to wrap up the
unless there's
episode.
anything particularly you want to ask extra.
Well, I had a bunch of questions, but I think they all kind of repeat the same thing. Are you looking towards monetizing your channel?
I think I'll see when I get to it, because it's been non-monetized for what? 5 years now. Wow.
Oh, you are?
I didn't realize it had been that long. I didn't realize So I'll see when I get to it. It's sort of like I got I get a little bit of money from Twitch when it builds up to enough that it pays out, but that's not consistent either, and it's not much. So I'll see. I think the main annoyance that I have with that is that every SWTOR stream, it copyright claims for the movie music used in the game. And I used to dispute, just saying, look, it's part of the game. What do you expect me to do?
I've had
just
that
not have
issue
music
with
on in
other
the game
games.
and make it boring.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
was
I had
like,
that with a game called Mafia, where like they had a bunch of different tunes, and I was like, "What the hell?"
yeah, and it's an issue I find with some of the older Star Wars games as well. As some of them only use movie music,
the John
and then,
Williams score.
Yeah, but the
and
video game music doesn't get copyright claimed for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Other than some of the Shadows of the Empire tracks.
It's Jeffrey Miller's in the chat. Oh my god, it's the CJ. We got 3 viewers.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
This is CjH!
It's unstoppable.
So that's the kind of thing that it's like, yeah, monetizing it'd be nice, but I don't know how worthwhile it'll be until you get really big views and view times and numbers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any parting words to the podcast episode, episode 2, season 3?
Ooh. Which season did you start in, summer or winter?
The funny thing is, season 1 is all over the place, so it's not. It doesn't really have a episode 1, 2, and 3. It's just
that happens. I think if you enjoy Star Wars, just check out the expanded universe. A lot of lore videos I don't tend to do because I go just read it yourself and experience it yourself. That's one of the biggest things that I go. I don't interact with fandom a huge amount now, unless someone invites me on to talk or whatever, and I talk to a few different people a little bit that are other YouTubers, but it's like, it's rough because of some of the state of things, because it's like, on another note, someone posts something in an expanded universe group, and then they go, oh yeah, better than Disney. It's like, that's the first comment that you think of.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
But yeah, check out. Yeah.
Oh, Jeffrey in the comments. I think you're a little late
Callum's
to ask that question.
Is my channel.
Yeah.
Callum's Cantina. I recently changed the name, and I'm branching out next year. But yeah, if you enjoy Star Wars and want to watch me play through some games and talk about some of the books and stuff, my novel reviews are really mainly for people that have already read it, which is why I tried to change it as well. But then that filtered off. But mostly games, and then I have a few other little videos, and then going into more other gaming next year, especially, which would be good.
There you go.
Yeah, and we could probably post a link in the chat, couldn't we?
I was gonna find your channel and then post the link.
Yeah.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. There we go. All right.
And I stream on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/Callums_Cantina without the apostrophe, because I don't let you put apostrophes in.
All right.
And all of that good stuff.
Yeah. So we're gonna play the outro, and then if you want to talk behind the scenes, that would be coolio. I just gotta find the outro. That's the thing.
I'm going to find my link for my Twitch quickly, and I'll chuck that in the chat too. Why not?